Alright guys, so this is game 2 against blue-black zombies. So I look at my opening hand, see I only have one Sulfur Falls and a couple of red and blue spells, so I go ahead and put that back in the deck. I see my second hand with a Copperline Gorge and a bunch of different colored spells, so I go ahead and mulligan to that. I probably should have gone down to 4 here, since I would be drawing a card, but I decided to keep the Ponder and the Island, which isn't too good. He casts a Diagraph Ghoul, which is a 2/2 that comes into play tapped for 1 black. So I cast a Ponder, looking at an Evolving Wilds, a Copperline Gorge, and a Mana Leak. And I decided to take the Mana Leak, or the Copperline Gorge, excuse me. Obviously, I'll draw on the Mana Leak next turn. And so he takes me to 2. He takes me to 18, dealing 2 damage to me, and casts another Diagraph Ghoul, which comes into play tapped as well. So from here, I'm starting to see like a huge field of zombies that are starting to come at me. I play a Copperline Gorge, and I try to cast a Mayor of Avabruck, trying to get some pressure on him. I know that the huge swarm of zombies is coming, and so if he doesn't cast a spell, I'll get some blockers that I can trade with his 2/2s, which is always nice. He attacks me with both of his zombies, taking me down to 14, and then he casts a Fume Splitter post-combat, which kills my Mayor of Avabruck. From there, I top deck in Evolving Wilds and search my library for a forest. And with Mana Leak Incinerate open, I go ahead and pass the turn. So from there, he has the 2/2 Diagraph Ghouls. At 14 life, he's at 20. He plays another land, attacks with both of his creatures, taking me down to 10 life. Which at this point, I'm starting to get a little worried, and I have the Incinerates in hand. And then he casts a Diagraph Captain, which I incinerate pretty quickly. That card really gets out of hand if you let it. And so it dies, and next turn I draw an island, play it, and then pass the turn. So I still have the Incinerate open and the Mana Leak. So he attempts to attack me, but I incinerate one of his zombies, which deals 2 damage to it. And he hits me for 2, taking me down to 8 life. And he post-combat resolves a Liliana, which of course I Mana Leak. That's exactly the thing I was saving the Mana Leak for, either that or a Giraffe's Messenger, because if I incinerate it, she'd still get the +1 or the -1 ability off. So he attacked me for 2, taking me down to 6. I draw Brimstone Volley and pass. So I'm down to 6, he's at 20, and then he casts a Giraffe's Messenger. So I have the Redstone Zenith in hand, so I'm not terribly concerned about the Giraffe's Messenger. And it takes me 2 damage, which will take me down to 4. It took me a second to realize it. But I go down to 4, and then next turn I cast the Redstone Zenith, which came out from the sideboard, to exile his Giraffe's Messenger. That card with Mortar Pod can get really out of hand. It's quite annoying. And he plays a Diagraph Captain, which makes his zombie a 3/3, taking me down to 1. Now I draw a Ponder, and I reveal a Delver, a Hinterland Harbor, and a Copperline Gorge. So I take the Delver, cast it, and then cast my Mayor of Avabruck, just to give me some sort of chump blockers. At this point, I'm pretty much dead. He draws, and at this point, you can really see the difference between a 5-card hand and a 7-card hand. And he tragic clips my Mayor of Avabruck, which will bring my Delver down to 1/1 and give him the game, which takes us to game 3. Thanks for watching.